Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. I am so glad you're here today because we're going to talk about something that happens to millions of us every single month, yet we're constantly expected to just kind of keep quiet about it. Well, today we are breaking the silence on severe menstrual pain. If you've ever found yourself curled up in bed, missing out on your actual life because of your period, I want you to know right now, I hear you, your pain is real, and it is absolutely not just in your head.
I mean, how many times have we heard this exact phrase? Just take a Panadol and work through it. It's just a painful period, right? In so many cultures, and we see this especially in many of our African communities, there's this incredibly heavy, unspoken expectation that women are just supposed to be silently resilient. We're essentially raised to believe that womanhood equals enduring pain without complaining. But today, we are going to unlearn that. We're going to look at what the science actually says, because you should never, ever have to just tolerate agony.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. The silent struggle. Surveys show that anywhere from 50 to 90% of women of reproductive age worldwide experience painful menstrual periods. Let that sink in for a second, up to 90%. If you're hurting, you are absolutely not alone. You're actually in the vast majority. Yet somehow, this massive global health reality is still treated like a minor inconvenience or some taboo secret.
And you know, this pain doesn't just stay in the lower stomach. It disrupts literally everything. Globally, 10 to 20% of young women miss school because of this. Research also shows massive losses in work productivity. We're talking about almost an entire month of productivity lost per year for some women. It ruins your sleep, it drains your energy, forces you to cancel plans, strains your relationships, and over time, it can actually lower your body's overall threshold for pain, which takes a very real, heavy toll on your mental health. So this completely destroys the myth that severe period pain is just something you can easily work through.
Section 2. What causes the pain?
So the medical term for all of this is dysmenorrhea. I know it sounds like a lot of medical jargon, right? But let's break it down simply so you have the right vocabulary to advocate for yourself. Dys just means difficult or painful, and menorrhea means menstrual flow. So it's defined as severe, recurrent, crampy lower abdominal pain that happens when your period arrives. But what's actually triggering those intense cramps?
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how the cramp cycle actually works. When your body realizes you aren't pregnant, your hormone levels drop. This triggers the release of chemical messengers, specifically these things called prostaglandins. Think of them as tiny messengers telling your uterus to squeeze and contract so it can shed its lining. But in women with dysmenorrhea, your body produces way too many of these messengers. Your uterus squeezes so tightly and so fast that it actually pinches its own blood vessels shut. When the blood is choked off, the muscle loses oxygen. And a muscle without oxygen, well, it basically sends out screaming pain signals.
To give you an idea of just how hard your uterus is squeezing, the pressure inside a cramping uterus can exceed 400 millimeters of mercury. To put that into perspective, a normal healthy blood pressure in your arm is around 120. Your uterus is literally squeezing at a pressure higher than your own blood pressure. That perfectly explains why the pain is so agonizing and why it is absolutely not just a little tummy ache. Section 3. Normal or something more?
We really need to understand the difference between standard cramps and something more serious. We call standard period pain primary dysmenorrhea. It usually starts when you're young, maybe a year or two after your first period. The pain typically lasts 1 to 3 days, and it's mostly felt right in the middle of your lower stomach or lower back. But there are warning signs you definitely need to watch out for. If your pain is getting noticeably worse over time, if you're dealing with extremely heavy bleeding, bleeding between periods, pain that sits mainly on just one side, or pain during intercourse, those are major red flags. You really shouldn't just ignore them.
Because those warning signs often point to what doctors call secondary dysmenorrhea, which basically means the pain is a symptom of an underlying hidden condition. This could be things like uterine fibroids, adenomyosis, or pelvic inflammatory disease. Most notably, studies actually show that 70 to 80% of women with persistent, severe pelvic pain that doesn't respond to basic treatment end up being diagnosed with endometriosis. So if your body is waving these red flags at you, it's really time to speak to a doctor.
Section 4. Lifestyle tweaks that help.
If you're dealing with that primary dysmenorrhea, let's shift our focus to empowerment. And this brilliantly illustrates the power of lifestyle changes, which is totally backed by data. Surveys consistently show that regular movement, especially aerobic exercise, significantly reduces the intensity of menstrual pain over time.
By staying active, you're improving blood flow and naturally calming down those pain-causing chemical messengers.
So what can you actually add to your daily routine? Well, heat is literally your best friend. Applying a simple heat pack to your lower abdomen has similar pain-relieving effects to some painkillers, and it comes with zero side effects. Diet plays a massive role too. Omega-3 fatty acids, like the ones you find in fish oil, actively stop your body from making too many of those chemical messengers. Vitamin B1 supplements can help calm muscle contractions. Combine all that with regular aerobic exercise and a few stress reduction techniques, and you're actively giving your body the tools it needs to fight the cramps.
Section 5. Effective medical treatments.
Let's look at the clinical options, because let's be real, sometimes a hot water bottle and a quick jog just aren't going to cut it. When the pain is severe, you need medical care. The first line of defense is usually NSAIDs. Those are your over-the-counter painkillers like ibuprofen or mefenamic acid. They work by directly blocking the production of those chemical messengers right in your uterus. If that doesn't work, doctors often recommend hormonal methods like pills, patches, or implants. Those work by thinning the lining of your uterus so your body just doesn't need to squeeze as hard to shed it. There are also TENS machines, which are pretty cool. They use gentle electrical pulses to actually block the pain signals from reaching your brain.
Now, here is the golden rule, and I'm telling you, this tip might actually change your life. Take your pain medication 1 to 2 days before your pain usually starts. Don't wait until you're already doubled over in agony. You have to get the medication into your system early to block those chemical messengers before they flood your body and start that whole cycle of high-pressure squeezing.
The really good news here is that women are not giving up. Research tracking new pain relief methods shows that women experiencing severe pain have incredibly high expectations for new treatments, and they're highly willing to try out new methods to find relief. The science is finally catching up, and new targeted therapies are being explored all the time. There is absolutely zero shame in demanding better care, asking your doctor for new options, and just flat out refusing to settle for suffering.
So we've seen the biology. We know the uterus can squeeze with the pressure of a literal vice grip. We know the massive impact this has on our education, our work, our relationships, and our overall lives. So I want to leave you with this. If the science proves your pain is real, why should you ever accept being told to just tolerate it? It is time to track your symptoms, break the stigma in our communities, advocate for yourself, and demand the care and the relief you absolutely deserve. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer today. Keep learning, keep asking those important questions, and please take care of yourselves.